Today on the Tim Marner podcast show, we've got James Calderbank, the owner, founder of Transform Hub. It's one of the fastest growing boutique fitness franchise gyms.
That's correct. Absolutely is.
How do, right?
In the UK. Just
in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. Yeah.
How do people, James, change their relationship with money? Small businesses. Yeah. It's something that I've struggled with about, am I worthy enough to earn money? And I've got this small business mindset of how do you make that shift from being like sort of, do you understand what I mean?
So are you thinking for more the business owner, entrepreneur,
yeah.
not the clients, not changing the client's mindset?
Yeah.
I think you've got to get to a point where you've got undeniable proof that what you do is outstanding. You've got to believe in your product. And I think there's a lot of things where people say, oh, you got to charge what you're worth. But if you're worth nothing, you can't. You either will manage to wing charging a lot for it, and then you'll soon get a bad reputation because you can't deliver. So I think you have to build it up.
Wing charge is interesting. I've never heard that terminology before. You're just kind of making up a price because you think that's what everyone else is doing.
Well, yeah. If you're a really good salesperson, you can kind of dress anything up to look good. Especially if it's like a service-based business, you can. There's not a tangible product where it's just like an object in front of you. You know, if you're to buy a watch, like a Rolex or a Ferrari or something, it's a tangible thing you know is worth a lot of money, so you're going to pay for it. But if it was just another car with no badge, you wouldn't be able to charge a lot for it, right? Yeah. So, but when it comes to like the coaching industry, there's no tangible object, and you can easily make fake reviews up. You know, you can make it look great and awesome, and then when you actually get into it, there's no substance behind what you're doing. And that's why a lot of the biggest issue I see with the coaching industry is, you know, it's an absolute shit show of a place. But that's not a long-term solution. So it took us quite a long time to get to the point where we're charging now for things and what we do, but we fully believe in it and can say it with conviction because we've got thousands and thousands of documented transformations. We've got, you know, an absolute load of franchisees that are making great incomes, changing a lot of lives. We have the undeniable proof that we are worth what we charge. So when you have a massive impact on other people and you know you're changing lives daily, you know, that gives you a higher worth. You know, the more the saying goes, isn't it? The more people you help, the more money you'll make ultimately.
Have you ever struggled with that relationship with money back in the past? Like, have you always been quite entrepreneurial and you knew what to charge? And
I think I've always been entrepreneurial. It's just been in my blood since I was a kid, really.
Because people struggle just putting money up, charging for the services, be charged for so long, and they kind of got that thing, or it's kind of a mates rate thing, and to actually, you know, charge people what you're worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've never personally had a problem charging money to people once I understand what I'm selling. It's worth it. I'll never sell something I don't believe in. Like, I can't say that with conviction and passion. Like, I think of most of my journey of being a personal trainer, I never had to particularly be a complex, you know every single script and come back, because I just sold it with so much passion that people, I think this is the thing people forget, is that before you know all the little, you know, tricks and tips and persuading someone and scarcity and all things, the first thing you need is conviction that, you know, can get someone excited to want to buy off you. So it comes from your energy. So
the sales thing's a real big one that I think a lot of businesses, when they're first starting up and stuff, they forget the sales side of it and how to sell and what should I charge and things like that. They think, oh, just get a logo, get a website and...
Well, exactly. And then we've made that mistake to a certain degree.
Right.
So when we first opened, we were charging like £80 to £100 a month for our... It's kind of a boot camp model, but it's not. But I'm going to say boot camp because it's kind of relatable to a lot of people. Yeah. So charging £80 to £100, and then once you get so far with it, after a year or two, your account goes, all right, we've got to register for that now. You lose 20%. Right, cool. 100 members. I'm doing a lot of the coaching. And then to get to that next level, you know, need to hire more coaches. That's another £2 or £3 grand a month gone. And then all of a sudden, what kind of worked for you when you were a sole trader and you might have had 1 or 2 part-time coaches working under you in our industry, it works really well.
Yeah.
But then
I think that's what I meant before about, look, you're charging a certain price, then all these things accountable that you never, and then they've got a real thing about putting the prices up.
And that's
that.
And that's it. And ultimately, you're going to have to bite the bullet at some point, because what happens is when you charge too less as well, sales conviction goes down with your team. The higher price you charge, as long as you can deliver on it, the more conviction your team will have to want to deliver it. The more buy-in your clients will get, because it'll be instantly perceived as a higher level service. And the buying, we actually convert more people and get a higher sale rate since we've increased the price by double or triple sometimes.
What's the psychology behind that? Why is that
Because you're either in the cheapest market, and you'll see, I won't name names, but you'll see so many like gyms charging £15-20 a month. And that's just bottom of the barrel vultures now. It's just competing for the cheapest price and getting the most people through the door. So that is a good market to a certain degree, because you've got your 80% of your population that just want a gym that's super, super cheap to go to, and they run a few classes a week. And that's great. But then you've got the middle ground where, you've got kind of like boutique style places charging from 60 up to 120. But that's the middle ground, and there's too many comparisons there. So if you go to the higher end of the market, like we were sort of mid-market, but we've been slowly diverting over to the higher market. You get better conviction from the clients, and they want better results, and they'll stick to it more because there's a higher price tag on it. So it's like, I forgot who actually learned this. This isn't my own analogy, but they basically said is, imagine you're trying to get someone to lose weight and they need to lose 2 stone over 8 to 12 weeks. Now, why would someone struggle to pay £200 for that, but they'd be happy to go and spend 8 to 10 grand on liposuction? Okay, so the reason why they'd spend 10 grand, because it's pretty much guaranteed. They've got the dream. It's the value equation. Alex Hormozy, I think, said this one. So it's the value equation. So you've basically got the dream sold to you, the perceived likelihood of achievement, which is pretty much guaranteed, unless you die on the operating table or something. And then you've got the time collapse. So it's done in a very short period of time. And you know you're going to get it. It's a very likelihood, and that equals the value and why someone will pay that much, right? So the reason why someone won't want to pay £200-300 for a 6-week body transformation program, but ultimately get them the same result and sort the mindset out, is because it's sold to them in a way where it's comparing it to too many other people in the area. So you have to have something that's completely different, and you not just sell it in a way, but deliver in a way that's totally different, where you're selling an outcome, not a number of sessions. So as soon as you take yourself out of the realm of comparison, you can charge what you want pretty much. We've tried £200, £300, £400, £500, £600, £700, and it doesn't, the buying decision, we always close at about 70 to 80%. When someone comes in our hub for an appointment, on average, some months where it's lower, like Christmas or something like that, but on average, 78% will always buy. And that's never changed. And in fact, it's gone up a bit since we've gone to £200, £300, £400, £500, the more we got up. But the more we've gone up in price, the level of results has increased, retention's increased, compliance to the program, the better staff retention we've got because they're more proud of what they do, and because they charge more, they want to deliver better. So it's not just about making extra profit. Every business should want to make as much profit as possible, because that's why we work on Nutsack, because we want a great lifestyle. But in turn, people get better results and they get a better buy-in. So it's putting yourself in the Ferrari, Lamborghini market and not the Nissan market. How many players are there in the Nissan market? And that, lower end Audis, Vauxhalls, things like that. It's such a big competitive environment. But at the top 10%, the price isn't an object, because you're getting the best. So that's what we've started to position ourselves. We've gone for a mid-market product, but even though they're going to a higher price, it's still 10 times cheaper than personal training, and we get better results because it's a community-based program, and we've got more funds to be able to invest in systems. So it eliminates one-to-one personal training instantly, and it's cheaper, and it gets 10 times better results. And that's how we do it.
Value, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you can guarantee someone that result as well, go, right, well, if you don't get results, if you only get results after 2 weeks, you let us know, we'll give you all your money back. All you have to do in the app is make sure that you've taken a picture of every meal you're eating, and you fill out your food diary honestly, and you've done your weigh-ins every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if after 2 weeks you're not getting results and you've done that, let me know, get your money back. I think we've had like one refund out of hundreds and probably thousands of people doing this.
That's incredible, that, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. But then the real value is going over to the 12-month long-term program, because we're not selling someone a bunch of sessions.
Yeah.
As soon as people say, oh, you get 3 classes a week, you know, it's this, you know, the fun. Every fucking one does that.
Yeah.
So you're putting yourself in a comparison market. But what we do is we get your results through group personal training, nutrition, accountability, and fun. And you're buying a result. Because when people say to us, oh, they might text in or message on the Facebook or ring in or something, and go, so how many classes do we get a week? We'll go, we don't do classes, sorry. And they're like, they're mind blowing. They're like, well, how do you do it then? So it's a results-based program. And that's why our program will never be a fad, because we're not selling a certain sort of class or anything like that, or we're selling a result. So our approach might change. We might stop doing personal training, who knows? And something better might come out there, but we are there to get someone a result and get them in the best shape possible and feeling awesome.
I mean, the before and afters, mate, that you've got are fucking insane, aren't they? You've got like thousands of them.
Yeah, we should put more online. Really, we're trying to get the new stuff ready with you before we launch them all.
We'll do that.
And then selling someone into longer term programs, so like our 12-month program. If someone joins up to that after 12 months, if they don't get the result in 12 months that we promise, and they've checked everything in the app that they should have done, we'll keep working with you for free for up to 6 months till you hit your goal.
The accountability thing's a real big thing with you, isn't it? And holding people accountable for, look, we'll do our side of the bargain if you hold up your side of the bargain.
Exactly. Because we know if someone sticks to it, we know it works. So you log everything, and you know we'll get you the results. And so that's why people are willing to part with the money with it more, because we guarantee it. How
many franchises have you got now?
We've got 34 signed locations, and what that means is we've got 20 odds that are open, and then the rest are signed looking for units or going through the process of build work and stuff. So
what's that at 400% growth year on year?
In 3 years, we've grown 1,500%. Crazy, really.
That's fucking nuts, that, isn't it?
When you look, I don't really think about it too much, but when you look back and then like compare your yearly accounts and stuff, you go, fuck.
Why don't you look back on it? What are you? Why?
I'm just too busy looking forward to what we're doing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do you never give yourself that moment where you just stop and just think, fucking hell, James?
Yeah, sometimes, and then we're quickly onto something else. I will do. Like we're in wartime at the minute, so it's just we've not got time to.
Look, can I ask you?
Go for it.
It's going to be a little bit of a personal question.
Go for it.
Like, when you bought your Lambo, right? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Did you?
Loved it. Yeah.
But and was that, because I always think about this sometimes, it's like, is my relationship with money and stuff like that. Look, I'm not a Lambo person, but I get it. Look, listen, if you can get one, you get one. I just wondered, when you got that, were you like, oh, brilliant, I've had it for a week, and then I was like, I'm over it now?
Do you mean, so what do you mean, so just to clarify the question.
Was the Lambo really you, or did you get it just to kind of say to yourself, look, I've got enough money to like kind of buy one, I bought one, and then after a week you were like bored of it? And I didn't have it for more than a year. I'll get onto why that was in a minute, but I got it and I had the best 6 months of my life. So I went on a load of driving trips, met a load of new mates. I'd just moved up to Cheshire at the time. Yeah. So I ended up getting, I moved away from Preston, without growing a few people. Didn't have many mates left, to be honest, because of the growth. It's just a natural process of what happens. Yeah. And then I ended up meeting a load of new people over at Lamborghini on some of those trips. That opened circles, and I met a load of other people. Yeah. So because of that one car, I've met some amazing friends that I'm still extremely
close with.
Yeah.
And it, not as a direct impact of that, I ended up getting the investment for AJ Bell because someone...
So just tell me what you've written on the cupboard.
So it says, life is better with outstanding people.
And then this is what you're saying, is surround yourself with people like that.
Yeah, and just to get super clear, it doesn't mean being surrounded with people that have done well with money, but so many people that can't, haven't got the entrepreneur mindset, but I've got some of the most incredible people I've got around me. Yeah. I've not set up massive businesses. Some of them work for us. Some of them, indirectly work for us, and we do a bit of work with them. And they're so inspirational because of how their mind works. So it's just having people that think on another different wavelength and look at life completely different. Yeah. Someone's just progressing. Progression doesn't mean more money sometimes. And that's why I think that's going to a bit like when I started earning a certain amount of money. As soon as you're earning over 5, 6, 7K a month, unless you're wanting to spend thousands in a club on a Saturday night or get private jets and just go on ridiculous holidays all the time, which I'm not against. It doesn't change your life quality anymore. So what I found with it is once I got to a certain level with it, it didn't change my life at all. And then as I got my finances secure and I felt more and more financially secure, I just enjoy the process of growing the business and mentoring people more and more. The battle for money stops because it comes a bit easier. Then you actually just enjoy the process of mentoring people and growing yourself. And then because we're helping more people. And
I get that from you a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I get that from you a lot. That's why I wanted to ask you about the Lambo question, because I wondered where that fit within James's identity in a way.
It wasn't. I thought when I was younger, my first supercar I ever wanted was an Audi R8. I love cars.
R8.
So I got the R8 about a year before the Lambo. As soon as I come out of lockdown, we started turning some good money. I was like, right, I'm going to just go. I was going to rent one for a weekend because I just wanted one. Yeah. And I went, fucking, I'm about to spend $2,000 on this for a day. I was like, but then my partner went, why don't you just buy one? And I was like, yeah, I can actually. So I went and bought one instead. And then I was like, shit, this is amazing. And that was like, it wasn't really like a status thing. That was like a childhood dream. Yeah. Since I think the first R8 that came out.
Just kind of a tick.
Do you remember the manual one, the V8 one?
Yeah.
That was on my wall on a poster. And it was a bit of nostalgia. Like I've always wanted it.
Yeah. So that was kind of classic cars now, aren't they?
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So that's what I wanted from that point of view. And then I sold that because when the car market went a bit mad after lockdown, sold it, made a good bit of profit on that car. It was a bit of a no-brainer. And then I got the Lamborghini, and I don't know what actually made me go for it. I saw someone driving one on YouTube. I was like, I want one of them now because I love cars. If you look on my Instagram, I've not got pictures of cars all over it. It's not my identity, but I just love fucking cars. And it's cool, where people are looking at you and they're like buzzing, and people, like kids are dead excited, because I used to be that kid. So those when the kids are like, oh my God, these Lamborghinis going past and everything like this. Those like really cool moments of it. But yeah, so I just enjoyed the circles and the buzz of just driving the thing around super fast. And then it got closer to winter and I got a bit bored, and I put my foot down once and the back end slid out, span out, and I was like, this needs to go now. I'm going to kill myself. But yeah, so I'm not really got any supercars at the moment, because I probably will do at some point again, but it's just not a priority at the minute.
So when obviously you got this Lambo, right? And then you got like a certain circle of friends around you. Can you talk to me a little bit about the loneliness about being James Calderbank and having to get rid of those toxic people around you to actually for you to move into the... I know these are personal questions.
No, I'm trying to think the best way to answer that. I've always been on my own path. Like I've never massively fit in with a lot of crowds and stuff. So I wouldn't say I started to feel ultimately that lonely. I've always been on my own. Yeah. But I've not been a maverick. I love working with team and people, but I've always thought very differently. So I found it very. I don't kind of fit into the normie sort of, lifestyle. So I've always thought very differently. Always thought outside the box quite a lot, and it's not very often. You come across people, like we can have this conversation now that understands these conversations. Yeah. Some people just don't care, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I kind of always been like, I used to think there was something wrong with me.
Yeah.
But actually, as I've grown up, I've realised some superpower.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when I moved to Warrington, I moved to Stockton Heath because we were setting up the Warrington site. After lockdown, we were just like, I just need to get out of Preston. I want to go and try some new things. Yeah, that was a bit lonely. I didn't have anyone around me because I'm very close to my family and they all live in Preston. Even actually an hour drive away, when you're busy, it's not quite simple as just nipping down and coming back because I used to live 5 minutes away. Yeah. So I think the hardest bit about that, was not having family around and some of my friends that I used to knock around with, they're great people. I still talk to them now, but there's not as much in common. Yeah. So it's not, you just can't relate to people as much. And then getting the cars and stuff, we just started mixing in better circles, and and then I started to realise actually there's so many people out there that do think like me.
Yeah.
And then you just got to find them, but you've got to earn your way up to be in them circles, haven't you?
What do you mean by that? How do you do that, James?
Well, if you don't grow personally, why would someone that's dedicated the whole life to growth and development of themselves and other people want to knock around with someone that's not like that? It's not like a negative thing, but you attract in what you are, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been thinking about recently is like, what does that person bring to the table? It's like, look, I'm sitting at a table with you, I'm bringing stuff to the table, you're bringing stuff, and it's a nice exchange. Yeah. There's people who come to my table and don't give me anything, they just take from my table, and I'm just like, look, I'm sorry about this, but like, I can't have you in my life. It's like you're not bringing anything to it.
Yeah, you have people. It drains your energy. When you're busy, especially, you know this. Yeah. You've only got so much time.
Yeah.
Why would you like? Positive energy is so much easier to give than negative. Yeah. So a few positive things are so much easier than to give to some, like your energy that's negative to someone that drains you. So if it's just a constant battle and it's your drain, it feels 10 times harder than having that same conversation that's positive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You might be sat here for 15 minutes having a conversation, but 15 minutes of something inspiring is a lot easier on the soul than 15 minutes of negative. And I'm not saying I avoid negative things. You have to have difficult conversations.
Yeah.
But when you choose to spend time with people, 90% of the time it should be positive. If you've got the right people around you, there shouldn't be that much drama going on.
What do you do for personal development and personal growth? What do you do to actually, sort of like elevate your thinking, elevate your soul?
I used to just read a load of books, and you can definitely learn things from that. But I think most people fall into the trap that they become a book expert but not a life expert.
Yeah.
So they know everything about it, but not actually how to do it. So I still read and listen to podcasts now because it's good for inspiration. But you just got to go out and just make some mistakes and get shit done. If you're not going out and just trying things, the real lessons in life are learned from experience.
Yeah.
I'm not studying out of a book to be a medical professional or I'm going to be a surgeon. It's life-threatening for people.
Yeah.
I can kind of afford to make mistakes. It's not going to be hurting anyone, right? And I think there's two very different realms here. Going into being a good business owner and a good person, you don't necessarily need a degree or, any business experience. But if you're dedicating your life, to something massively medical, then there is processes you need to go through. So I just want to be super clear on what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But you just got to throw yourself in and go for it. Don't overthink it. And, you're going to make some mistakes, but enjoy them. It's how you perceive your stress, isn't it?
Yeah, then mistakes and learning and being accountable for them, kind of making a solution for it, and then not dwelling on them and just moving on.
Yeah,
it's just people. I put a post out yesterday about people playing it so cautious and and they don't want to show the passion or that because it's like it's the kind of easy road, and we'll get through this by being cautious and it's like you got to take bold risks, man. Sometimes you got to be alright with making mistakes. You've got to be alright looking like a dick.
You have to be optimistically cautious, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you got to don't be a complete idiot where you got to think things through, but you got to take a risk, enjoy it, because take enough risk, something will pay off eventually.
It takes a person to do that, though, doesn't it? It takes the person at the top to make that risk.
It is. I genuinely don't think everyone's cut out. I think you're born with it. You're not. I think to a certain degree, it's got to be deep within you. Like I didn't take a lot of risks at some points in my life, but it was always burning inside me to do it. You know, if you're just not a risky person, then you know, you've got to understand what your values are and what you want out of life.
Yeah.
So if I want complete financial freedom and then have to work again by the time I'm 40, which I do want to work, but that I want to be able to not work if I choose to. You know, when I start having a family at some point and everything like that, I want to be able to be present and spend all that time with them if I choose to. So if that's your goal and you never want you or your family to have any money worries ever again and you want to change the world, then you've got to take big risks. But if your goal is, you know, to have a really relaxed, balanced life, you know, just a nice working life, then you've got to see your family every night, Saturday, Sunday, and that's your goal, then why would you risk losing all that when you're already at your goal anyway? So if you've got a deep burning drive to get to a certain position...
Yeah, that's my problem. There's that deep burning inside.
Yeah, and then as soon as you try and restrict that, you feel equally strangled.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, you need to relax a bit,"
yeah, you need to calm down. You need to calm down, Tim.
No, people say, "James, you need to relax a bit." Well, it's not me. I don't want to relax. I love the adrenaline. I love the fight. I love it. Yeah. You know, some days I need just a day off where I just, you know, want to put my head in a freezer for an hour. But you know, vast majority of the time, I want to be working. I love it, and that is my hobby and my passion. Some people want to, you know, start work at 3 p.m. Friday and go off cycling for the weekend. But that is my thing, like other people have their thing. So I think you got to be very careful who you listen to. You know, only the people that are in, especially relatable to me for business, the people that I look up to in business that achieve what I want, I'd never tell me to only work 3 days a week. But your family members, you know, bless them, it's not their fault, that haven't got that or didn't want that will tell you to come back down to their level and relax more.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to who you're learning off.
Yeah, again, somewhat I put out there about like everybody deserves an opinion, but everybody deserves a say. You've got to understand those people around you deserve a say.
Yeah, honesty's fine, but it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah. True that, isn't it?
Yeah, you're like, you know, like we sometimes, you know, like we can have a little, like we can't please every single member at our hubs. You know, it's just we run a model where hundreds of people come through our doors each month. One person it doesn't work for, they go, it doesn't work, this program, and it's like, well, right, thanks for your honesty, but it doesn't mean that's true.
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard about it, and then obviously, you know, we've chatted a bit more and stuff and got into, like, I'm just like, wow, it's a fucking mint business model.
It's great.
It makes perfect sense. But at first I was like,
well, I think
just like, what's this difference in it? You understand.
People don't understand it, and this is why we're working for you, Tim. Like,
yeah.
We internally we've got this outstanding model, but we've
outstanding, mate. Honestly, I'm not just saying
appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate it. But I think it's not a mistake. We've just been so busy. We've had to choose our priorities.
Yeah.
But we've just not spent enough time developing on the message to the, you know, because your marketing's a shot window at the end of the day. Yeah. So basically, we've just had the shutters down for a long time.
Yeah. There's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah. So we just need to get the shutters open and have the revamped, you know, shot window in there so people can really see what we do. But I think it's been shifting and changing that much though. I think if we did this 12 months ago, it'd changed again. But we're getting to a point where 95% of the business is solid and it's just a little incremental changes.
Yeah, I think just when you told me about like Bleeding Blue and stuff like that, I'm just like, whoa, I'm like, that's a fucking brand we're talking about there. There was a thing, and I think that's come from experience to kind of, maybe you wouldn't have had that when you first started, but you've got it now because they're doing it, and they're like, right, well, we need to sort of centre our brand.
But when we talk about members internally, we think about who would love this, who would, you know, because we have an ambassador programme where they'll help with weigh-ins, measurements, and then they'll get, you know, discounts and memberships and stuff. So we have like an ambassador program. They'll get hoodies exclusively. And when we're thinking, they go, and Wendy will go, yeah, they bleed blue. And you can just think of your members powerful, straight away. Yeah. And we probably don't do enough of it with the new site.
Isn't it weird because you can't actually see that it's something that you really feel. And like when you've started talking about clients and stuff like that, and Wendy,
also love the hub. The hub. It's the hub.
Yeah.
The hub. That's what they get. I love the hub. The hub's
it's
amazing.
Got to come from them, the brand that we're doing. And you know, me and Gaz, when we're doing this, we've thought all about that, everything you're about, and how it feels first off, and then we'll know what it.
Exciting.
We'll know when the shutters go up, it looks right because we've done it from inside. I know we skated over this quick, right? You've got an investment there, haven't you?
Yes, yeah.
Which is fucking. I don't think have you sat back and gone, fucking AJ Bellavla, like fucking invested in it. What?
Yeah, just for clarity, it's Andy and Fergus. So Andy was the founder.
Yeah.
And then Fergus obviously came in director as well.
Yeah.
So it's not AJ Bell. It's the founders, owners that have invested personally,
mate.
But it's still the same thing.
Come
on. But yeah, so that's what, off the back of the Lamborghini talk, I started to speak to a really nice guy. I think he sold his business at 160 million a few years ago. And we're talking to him. I was just on like a driving event with him. He's like, "Oh, we invest now. I've got this money, and I basically got this massive tax bill I need to."
Yeah.
Inheritance thing. We've got to invest the money, otherwise we get a massive tax bill on it. So he started saying, "Well, I want to invest," and then we had a few other people, like quite a big gym chain actually, was looking at buying us.
Really?
Yeah, I had a few chats, but something didn't feel right to do it.
What was it that didn't feel right, James? Because obviously they must have offered you quite a lot of money, and what
didn't feel like the right people to do it. I don't know, just didn't do anything negative. Just didn't vibe. Just what the wavelengths were different. So then
you're going on gut reaction there, right? You're going off like your gut's telling you not to do something there.
Yeah, or on paper.
How important is that?
I'm a massive believer in energy and and how it's transferred around people. I can walk in a room and just sense something straight away. Whether it's me, like to this day, where I've employed staff, and I shouldn't have taken them on. I prove myself right every time. Every single time, and literally every time I've trusted my gut, it's always worked out to a degree. You've got to have numbers in front of you as well, and you've got to have other things to support what you're saying. But sometimes, even if it does work out okay, maybe your gut was just saying that we can do better than this. So it doesn't mean it might have been a bad negative relationship. It might have just been something's going. Nah, I feel like something's better for it. When you come into an end of a phase in your life and you go, there's something else brewing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I got that bit of a feeling. So I was like, right, I'm going to sit on it. I didn't say no. And then I moved to Lim after that. Then my next door neighbour, who I rented the house off, or still renting off now, oh yeah, I could come around for a beer. Got this, big Irish bar in his house. And I was like, wow, what's into it? I was like, wow, this is incredible. It's in the helicopter landing a few times a week. And I was just like, and then we just got on really well. And it wasn't even about investment. He's, oh yeah, we just, because I think they've started to cash a lot of their shares out. And I don't really know the full ins and outs of it, but I know they were going through investing a load of businesses. And then, we just chatted for a few months and then we just went with them. And they weren't like full-time investors, but they just did it because they love it. And it's so far ended up being an amazing relationship.
So obviously they've got a gut feeling about you. It's not just are they just investing in business, James, or are they investing in you and they got a good gut feeling about you?
Well, from my experience with investing in franchisees or staff, my take on it, if I had millions and millions in the bank ready to invest now, it would be off people. You can have someone that's got the best plan and a nice business, but do I think they're going to take it to the next level? We take on franchisees that, they end up doing okay, but the ones that got a good instinct for them go, fuck me, they're going to be winners. They smash it, and all the franchise do really well, but they're just on that even next level.
What is it, James, in someone?
Passion, energy, but believes in passion. I think I think if I'm being totally honest with myself, I like to think that that's what I vibe off. People believe in me, that I can pull things off, and I always have done. It might not end up being in the strategy that I initially thought, but anything I set my mind to, I pull off, and that's what I do.
What is that ADHD spectrum? There's a laser focus in you that, like, once you get your fucking sights on it,
I didn't know this at the time. I was like, is there something wrong with me? But then a few months ago, someone went, do you think you got ADHD? I was like, I never really thought about it because I was like, I'm not labelling myself as something. Yeah. I was like, I'll go and get a test anyway. I did one online. It said most likely, like an online form. So then I booked in with some local clinic in Chester. Right. And it was, and after a few weeks of like psychologists, it's like, you're off the scale, mate. But the first week of that was a bit weird. But then I remember going back.
But it's a superpower.
Absolutely, it's not negative whatsoever.
But as long as you can kind of control it, because like sometimes when I get my focus in on something, it can fucking easily like drain the shit out of me. Where I'm like lying on the couch for 3 days because I've like totally consumed every bit of energy. I need to, when I get my sights on something, just be
exactly
balanced with it.
Well, but is balance the real you?
No, not really, mate.
You know, you got to rein it in sometimes for the sake of your loved ones around you. I think, but that's your superpower.
Yeah.
You know, some people's superpower is to be really calm and bring people down.
Yeah, I've got those people around me.
Yeah, but someone else's superpower.
Because I called Gaz the dark cloud. Because when I'm fucking going like that, he'll bring the cloud and he'll kind of just bring me down, and I appreciate him for it.
Yeah.
But there's also times when he knows that he's just like, right, okay. Cool.
You have to learn to love it.
Yeah.
And I think realising not going get yourself into a downward spiral where you completely burn yourself out. Like
ADHD, that's what I used to be. That used to scare the shit out of me, mate. I'm just like
ADHD, because your mind's in overdrive. You psychologically can just really burn yourself out if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So I think like meditation things helps, but you know that hyper focus is awesome. Like no one really.
Yeah.
I have some like bit hyper phases where I'm hyper, but a lot of the time I've learned to be really relaxed with it.
Yeah.
And I've learned to channel in and out of it. So yeah, I'm proud of it, and you know, God bless who give it me, or what give it me.
What give it, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause most if you look at just Google it, some of the top billionaires in the world are ADHD. Bill Gates has got it. Yeah. Richard Branson. You know, all these guys that think far like that, they're not wired up to think slow.
Yeah.
So it is a superpower. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the breath work and meditations definitely helped me out balance it.
So have you got it then? Have you been diagnosed?
I don't know. Every time I talk to somebody and I connect with somebody on a certain level, like you, like on a frequency, I'm like, I'm talking to myself here.
So there's actually you might.
I'm not really bothered, to be honest, James. I'm not really bothered. I think I have.
I've learned not to be labelled myself. It's just me.
Yeah.
I don't ADHD. That's just what someone's put some characters of the alphabet onto.
Yeah.
It just means we're just more neurodivergent than other people. But they've proven, like literally, like people on the autism spectrum, ADHD spectrum, because ADHD is a spectrum.
Yeah.
It's not autism, but it's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You will bounce energy off people that are on spectrums.
Yeah.
So like autism, even people like high function autism, you know, I don't mean someone that's really has severe learning difficulties, but someone that's a high function, like that's got autism or ADHD, you'll just vibe off it straight away.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, one of my best mates, Martin, that I train with every morning, you know, we're just every time it's like, let's do something exciting.
Just like that.
Feet are like this going around, getting excited over stuff.
Yeah,
and that's what it's about. Love it. Yeah. It's good. And I think some people see it as negative. But you got to learn to change your mindset and realise it's fucking awesome. And then you pump other people around you. It's good energy to have.
I think that's what I struggled with when I was like younger and having friends around me where I'm operating on a different frequency, and they're always kind of down here, but they try to bring me down, the frequency down.
I used to go, how do you not see this? What I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Because I think what it makes it amazing is you see 10 times more things than you know, a normal mind will see. Yeah. Because you're not just hyper focused on something, but you're hyper focused on energy and feelings and emotion. You can people actually can read people really well.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe I can look into someone's eyes and I can tell instantly if they're a good person.
Good, that, innit?
Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, because when I'm having meetings upstairs with people, I've got this person like kind of talking to them, and I'm asking the questions. I already know what they want to talk about. I'm asking the questions they want to talk about, and I don't know what it is.
You've read it before.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. What really excites me, mate, is your personal brand. If we're going to say, I love Transform Up. Don't get me wrong. I love the what's it, but like what you're going to be doing next.
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing next? What feels right for you? Because the mentoring and stuff like that for you, surrounding yourself with other people like small businesses and stuff, and helping them change that is really important.
I love standing up, speaking, and talking, and I love talking about. I've always been pretty good at it, but I just love educating people on things that I'm passionate about. You know, some like since I've started putting more on I've not got that many followers, but since I started putting more and more content, my followers actually going down, but it's good because I'm getting rid of people that don't relate. I'm not asked about having thousands and thousands of followers that are not interested in
Just get rid of them old mates so you find new ones. I totally
this is people that have known you in the past, and but then the quality of people that are now interacting with me on there is shifting.
The quality of people. People.
Well, we're not. I'm in the fortune industry. I'm not after thousands and thousands and thousands of sales a month. For a franchise brand to hit my target by 2025, which is 100 sites, is all I need is 1, 2. Even one a month, if that, at the moment, and the next year maybe 2 every 6 weeks, and then we'll be on track. So I'm not overly.
How much do you show people behind the roller shutter? How much did you sort of like when you're doing it on social media and stuff like that? How much do you?
Well, I'll tell someone all of it if they want it. Whatever you want to know now, I'd tell you. Because there's a difference between knowing it and executing it.
What I really loved, mate, was when you told me about the analogy of the table when you take one of the legs away.
Falls over.
Yeah, you will talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
What is that? Where's that analogy come from? The 4...
So the 4 steps to transformation at Hub is group personal training, nutrition, accountability, and fun.
Yeah.
So with those 4, you're setting yourself up to succeed with the body transformation. And to be honest, it's the same. It's the kind of the same for me as how I've not realised it until now that that's what I've followed to get to where I am. So I've always had training with mentors.
Yeah.
I've always had a strategy, e.g. a nutrition plan, but a business plan instead. I've always had people guiding me on that.
Yeah.
The mentors kept me accountable. But 4, I've always selected mentors that have a good laugh with and don't take it overly seriously. Right. So I didn't realise that. I think I've just picked up on that naturally, without really realising, then put it onto our clients. Yeah. So it's the same principle I followed to get to where I am now. I've still got a long way to go. I forgot the first question you asked.
Well, it's just them. It's having them 4 things in place, and it's almost like a table. You've got 4 legs.
So in a consultation with a client, so you can even make a little chart. So you could put all the different things they've tried across the top. Then you, on the left side on the chart, you might put down nutrition, accountability, personal training, fun, and it might be flexibility, time. So you'll ask them, what have you tried in the past? They go, might have joined my local gym. Okay. Yeah. So in that box, okay, so did you get training? Yeah, okay, you got some classes. Okay, so we did a bit of the fitness, mark that, you got that, perfect. Did you get any nutrition? No, I got little guides, so you can't really mark that. Did they get any accountability? Definitely not. Okay, right. Have you tried a personal trainer? Yeah, I tried a personal trainer once. So you got the personal training and you probably got the nutrition, but did they keep you accountable and was it fun? No, bam. So then when you go through the steps like that, like slimming clubs, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, they'll get the accountability, the nutrition to a degree, because these slimming clubs do work because it's reducing calories. So you're going to lose some fat, so you're going to get some results. But did you get the training and the fun? No. So then what the Transform program does, it checks all the boxes that you need. So go, right, so Tim, so if you're in the consultation with now, what would happen now if that chair you're on, I pull one of the legs away?
Gone, falling over.
Exactly. So when people come in, they have this guilt that they failed all the time, and we to get people to transform to start, they need to realise it wasn't their fault. They've just been guided wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
I love that, mate.
Yeah. So can you see now that it wasn't your fault? Yeah, you just not had the right guide. Yeah, and can you see why you've fallen off that chair a few times? They're like, fuck. Yeah, shit. And then and that's that comes into the Hormozzi's value equation again. Is if you can deliver that, then that's uncomparable to anything they've done, and then you can charge more and have less clients. Then so you have a premium product, and these people that do this, they're not 8 out of clients just normal people, and they have to find the money sometimes or split it into a couple of payments and things. Yeah. So it's not just rich people train. We have some very wealthy clients, but 8 out of member base is just the average person that needs help. So people will find the money to do something that is going to change their life.
You're investing in yourself.
Exactly. So you have to just sell it. But if I said, yeah, it's a 6-week transformation, give you a nutrition plan, you get 3 sessions a week, and it's pretty fun. You go, all right, well, I'll go and compare it and see which is cheaper and come back to you.
It's uncomparable what you do. That's what, like you were saying before, it's like that's the thing that really stands out. And I believe in the product. I believe in what you're doing, which helps us do the brand because we need to believe in it as well. Yeah. And that's why you've been so successful, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, I didn't originally come up with the 6-week. The guy that I originally learned the 6-week challenge off was over in America. So everyone's doing a 6-week challenge now, but I think we were fortunate. We were one of the first people doing it. Yeah. And especially in Preston when I started. I don't know about the rest of the UK. But as we've adapted and other people have doing it, it's forced us to up-level our service. Yeah. Because honestly, when we started, I thought, because I built up my personal training client base with really close relationships, you make a few mistakes, no one's that bothered, they just enjoy the relationship. But as soon as I set up the gym and we had loads of 6-week challenges coming in through our digital marketing, selling them, we didn't even have email. People like, oh my, coming in, going, I've been trying to get in contact, you've no number, and all this. All this sort of stuff. So we've had to go, and it was a mass. I thought I was king dong, personal trainer. I was making good money. I was getting amazing clients. I thought I was the best in there. And then I went into the big pond. Then small fish in the big pond, and then it could have eaten me alive. A shark could have got me, but it didn't turn into the shark instead.
But that's just who you are as a person. You adapt and change, don't you?
Yeah. Because a lot of personal trainers, they get scared of moving out because they're a big fish in a small pond. Some of the guys that I was doing personal training with, great guys, very knowledgeable, but they're still doing it now. Yeah. Doing the same thing, and that's fine if that's what they want. But, I know people do say they want to level up, but they're not willing to take the jumps. You can't, if it's just about your ego and feeling really important in a small pond. Yeah. You're not going to progress.
I don't think people really understand what it takes to level up.
You don't.
They don't understand.
What I always got taught is like
darkness that comes in when you got to level up.
Oh God.
The loneliness, the fucking sleepless nights. They're like it's.
You want to feel like the most stupid person in your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleepless nights, mate. COVID was tough. I don't know about you.
No, I loved it, mate.
Did you?
Yeah, I loved it.
Did your business carry on?
Business carried on.
Yeah,
Before furloughed, everybody. I carried on. I was just walking in from Watts. It just fucking got my head down.
Yeah.
I was just like, me and Lee were the only person left on the boat. We were just doing all the work.
Right.
And that's what I need to do. But I just wanted to furlough everybody. But I topped everybody's wages up to 100%.
Yeah.
Just so
look after your staff.
Look after them. Yeah. I totally believe in that. But just got my head down, mate. I was designed for that. I was designed for COVID. Yeah. I'm great on my own. I do like my team, and I love my own company. Just me and the dog, mate, every day, just walking, work, get my head down, graft. It was great. Fucking backs against the wall, that's when I'm like, come on.
I love that for you.
Come on.
That's awesome. The first 6 months, mate, I'm going to be careful what I say now, but I've got a very different view on depression.
Yeah.
Personally, my own experience, I think it's every time I felt depressed or thought I was depressed as a disease, it's all my own doing. So every time I've always managed to pull myself out of a depressive situation, and it's usually because I've not been dealing with things. Yeah. So I felt very depressed for the first 3 to 6 months at least of lockdown. I had no money, literally, because obviously I'm self-employed, didn't get much furlough and things. So I was shit scared. I thought everything. I think I only had 3 or 4 gyms at the time, but I was fucking shit. I thought I lost everything. My self-worth was like here. I'll get a picture up later and show you.
Yeah.
I went fat. My head looked like a melon. It was like my cheeks were like, it looked like the sun.
What you just like?
Do you remember the sun of Teletubbies?
Yeah.
It was like my head was like round like that.
Really?
And they're just
you just comfort eating.
Just like one pizza a night and then a few beers every night, and then because you sat doing jack shit all day, and I had my own gym, so I could have probably gone to my own gyms at the time, but I just felt that down. I get out of bed at like 11 o'clock, and then I think after about 12 weeks, Dave will probably watch this podcast now. I think I've told him this in the past, but Dave, if you're going to be listening to this, mate, you inspired me. So my friend Dave Price, I can't remember, I met him now, but I think he trained at the same gym as me. But where I was on a street called Siskin Road in Cottam in Preston, and there was these new houses being built. He was building, I think it's something called Edgewater Oaks, and they were being built at the other side of the canal. And every time I used to walk past, I used to see the progression. You know, see him on Instagram, you know, be pulling up his Range Rover, you know, these houses are still getting built, half of them are already sold. You know, he's similar age to me, and he's like, you know, early, mid-30s. And I went, fuck me, James, like, you need to, like, it just made me level up. And then I talked to him a bit on Instagram, and then I went in, I don't know if I should have done. I went in, he showed me the house, and these big houses, like, not only was it, I was happy for him, and the progression he was still making in lockdown, I was like, I still want a house like this. I can't let this ruin my vision for because I wouldn't say I'm a materialistic things, but I like freedom and you know, I want space, you know. And then when I saw the houses, and then these mates were landing in helicopters in the back garden, I was just like, James, level up, man. So literally what I did.
What in that moment you did like a real quiet word with yourself? Was it at that point just walking, or is it just over a few days?
I walked twice a day for an hour a day, just walking. Just I had to keep my mind occupied. So then what happened was, I just started getting myself training. I trained at home. That's all I was allowed to do, train at home. Yeah. So I trained at home every day. Yeah. And then I just got myself back into a rhythm, started leading my team better. And then because I never spent a lot before lockdown, we had quite a lot of cash reserves, and then we got some grants in and things like that. So cash-wise, you know, weren't in that bad of a position. And then a few gyms started going under, and then started buying. I bought a gym for like 10 grand, bought another one for 20 grand, and then just sat on it. You know, there was a lot of rent relief grants going around, so we just sat on it. And then when we started to get that lockdown, come out that one for a month in November, we did a quick 3-week program, had a little bit of cash, you know, just started to get a bit of footing in the area. And then we came out of that again, didn't we? And then the last 4 months leading to us opening, I just cranked it up as like, right, when I come out of lockdown, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. My friend Ryan Cartwright, I don't know if you know Ryan, but bodybuilder in Preston. I signed up with him, started online coaching. He gave me a rocket up the arse. Says, I am going to get in the absolute best shape possible. I'm going to come out of this being the fucking best human being I can possibly be. I spent 2 hours a day at home working out. And then, so I trained in the morning, trained at night, did what I needed to do to get in that shape, stuck to my meal plan. And then because my mindset just leveled so much, I was like, I'm going to scale the living shit out of this thing. And just, you know, I had the motivation stuff. I was meditating every morning because I had the time to focus on me in the end. And I got past my own bullshit. Yeah. And then, and then Jed, who's now got 3 sites with us, he was one of our diehard members. He become a coach. He's like, James, I want a hub. And Jed stuck this, get Jed on your podcast at some point. You know, he went for a really bad time years ago. His son died in his sleep. Oh, wow. When he was 12. Jed went into massive bout of depression. I'll come back, it explains, I'll come back full circle. I've not lost my track of what I'm saying. And then Jed, long story short, pulled himself out of depression, joined our hub in Preston, loved it that much, got himself in shape. He's 44, 6-pack. I got him a 6-pack. Went and did a photo shoot with him. He got in amazing shape, and he's like, "Fuck, man, I love this so much." So he's walking around, all the women like he's a proper dilf. Yeah. Jed, you'll know what? Yeah, you know. I always call him the dilf.
Shout out, Jed.
He's a proper shout. Big up, Jed. Proper dilf. He'll be laughing at this when he listens to it. And then Jed was like, "Yeah, well, I want a hub." I was like, "Oh shit, best get some agreements together, there, haven't we?" Anyway, so rang a few franchise companies. One of my friends owns a franchise. I was like, mate, they were, oh yeah, just use Ashton's or whatever they were called in. Ashton's franchise listers, whatever. So I got them to whip me an agreement up. And then literally, me, Wendy and Justin went to our Preston site, just made a massive map on the floor, all white sheets, right? What roles happen when? What times does this happen? And we didn't have that much systems in place until then. And then we just got it all on the floor and just built like a flow chart on the floor. Then I think I'd taken like 2 modafinils a day at this point as well to get my head in check. And then my brain just into overdrive, and then literally it's adapted a lot since. I come out of lockdown, Jed opened, he smashed it within 6 months, got his second site. You know, there was a few things that got missed. You know, the client experience could have been a lot better, but it's a learning curve, and it was a cheaper product at the time and everything like that. And then literally every month now, it's just processes. How can we streamline it? How can we streamline it? How can we streamline it more and more and more and more? And then we went from 3 sites pre-lockdown, reopened when we could fully reopen with 7 sites. By the end of that year, it was 10 sites, and then last year we finished on 20 signed sites. Now we're on 30 odd signed sites, and it's gone from that. And half our franchise have come from our member base as well. So that's something I need to talk to you about, how we need to target our, speak to our member base more from a marketing point of view as well. I think so we're running a lot of ads.
It's everything, isn't it?
But the best franchise we have come from clients or close friends. So yeah, here we are.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Awesome though, there's no. I don't believe in luck. It's all been fortunate. I've analysed 2 routes I can always go down. And
I know it's something me and you have like very similar on this. And look, I love people who manifest. Right, we've had this me and you. Look, manifest all you want. It's all that. But like, listen, you got to graft. You got to graft.
Yeah.
Right, it's all right. Have these things, but fucking get your head down and fucking graft on it.
You got to love the graft though as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The people that I see in my, not necessarily network, but I just analyse. The people don't love the graft but feel like they're a slave to it.
Yeah.
High blood pressure, dying, heart attacks, cholesterol issues. But the people that love the stress and they just thrive off it are fucking so healthy, because they see it differently. Yeah. And neurologically, your body just sees it differently, and it's a very different type of stress. I think there was a study even proven those that enjoyed stress on another level that caused dopamine receptors to increase, they actually had a 30% less chance of a heart attack than someone that didn't enjoy the stress. I'm not saying stress always feels good, but ultimately you've got to see it as a positive thing. The people that are stressed and down in the dumps die quick, and then the people that love the stress, that are so passionate, live longer. Look, my business partner Wendy, 61, grafting daily. She's 61. She looks about 41, doesn't she? Yeah. Because she loves what she do and radiates a beautiful,
she's
positive
gorgeous energy.
Yeah. In and out, she's an amazing person, and she's still the age she is.
Shout out to Wendy.
Yeah, big up Wendy. Wendy's been one of my most solid people in my corner throughout the whole process.
Which comes back to that again, mate. Don't it just get
Wendy know each other 12 years.
People around you.
Wendy was one of my first clients. She was my first client.
I
went up to her, made it look really busy, like I had tens of clients. She's like, God, this guy's an expert. I just started at the time. So we always have a laugh about that. But no, I knew what I was doing. So.
Good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we've just been like best friends ever since. Such a weird, awesome relationship because I'm best friends with someone that's in the 60s. But again, it doesn't matter about age because I don't vibe off basic bullshit. So, like deep, meaningful conversations go a long way, don't they?
Yeah, they do, mate. And having, them certain people around you, like I said about Gaz being a dark cloud, he's also a really big sage in my life.
Yeah.
As in, he gives me really good sage advice when I'm being a little bit erratic and doing that. I said, look, Tim, there's a good perspective, but have you thought about thinking like this? I'm just like, oh yeah, that's actually quite like that. Before, I just used to fucking do it and fucking destroy people, and it's like, I need to...
Yeah, I think ADHD, hyper-focused brain, you can overwhelm people on that length sometimes. Yeah. So our area manager George, he's awesome. He's been a godsend because he's super cool cookie all the time. Never stressed. Always all right. It's good. Cool. And he understands how I work. Yeah. So the message like when I'm like, we need to launch this. He's like, yeah, but James, we need to think about. And he's like that filter for me. Yeah. So he's incredible. Gemma, who I work with, is an incredible human. I've known her for years. She's high up there with us. And Justin, one of my first mentors, I ended up going. He's actually a shareholder in the company. He kept me. Big shout out to Justin actually, and I didn't mention in lockdown. He jumps to call me every day. He lives in Cyprus, you see. So he kept my head together every day because he's just no emotion guy. Not cold, but he just doesn't over analyze situations, and he sees it for what it is. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, James, we just chill now. We use this money, buy stuff out, be patient, and then we open with more gyms. And that's simple as that, and that's how it happened. So he's been a lot of my life a big leveler for me, and you've got to have people that level you out and complement your weaker areas.
I'm excited, yeah. I'm excited for the future.
I'm buzzing. I'm always excited, mate. I jump every day. I can't wait to get out of bed. I'm like, I wake up at 4. I actually need the sleep to recover. I'm like, okay, I've got that sleep. 5 to 6, right? Well, 5 to 6. Let's go. I don't get sleep very well early in the night. I'd like to go be asleep for 9:30, but I don't know how to do.
We're going to start with some cold water together. We'll do some stuff together.
It does help, yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, I gave up on it in the summer. I had the one of them Lumi ice baths in the back garden. Through winter, it was great. It was always cold. Just top it up with a bit of ice. But now at the minute, it's ended up being dragged to the bottom of the garden by my dog with piss and shit.
It's not the same as when I go. There's like a little bit of a waterfall, and because the waterfall
Where is it?
it's just in Rivington, up in Bolton, but it churns the water up. So when you're in it,
it's always cold.
Always cold, and it energises you. I don't know what it is. It just beautiful, mate.
Still want to do it now.
James. Pleasure, mate. Honestly, been a pleasure meeting you, having you part of my life now. I'm really excited for where we're going.
Oh, man.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Goodbye.